Welcome to the show. I'm Thomas Hobbs and welcome to another WINOL Hot Topics debate. Now, Facebook has gone from strength to strength since going live in 2004 with around 500 million users currently active, and its creator Mark Zuckerberg becoming the world's youngest billionaire. It seems that the geek really shall inherit the earth. Today we will be discussing the issue of social networking and questioning its positive and negative impacts on society and popular culture. Well, just last year, 18-year-old Keely Houghton was the first person to be arrested for Facebook bullying. Some people would say that Facebook provides a platform for gossiping and cyberbullying. Would you guys agree?
I'd say that anything has the possibility of being used as a tool for bullying. Certainly with social networking, because it is so easily accessible and people can read a lot of things on it, then yeah, it can be used in that way, but I don't see that it always is, and I don't see that that's its main focus.
Obviously, as communications officer at the Student Union, I'm guessing you use social networking a lot to promote the Student Union. I just wondered if you could maybe touch on how you use social networking positively in that respect.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, the Student Union have a Twitter account as well, and that's obviously uploaded straight onto our Winchester Student Union website, which means that we can constantly update students with anything that's breaking news in terms of things that are going on at the Student Union. And also it's good for getting support for things like the national demo that's coming up on November the 10th, as a backlash for the Brown Review that came out today. And it's a useful tool for us as exec members because we can keep in touch with other exec members from other student unions and share.
Well, Facebook has come under attack recently, quite a lot in the media, for its lack of security and blocking a lot of private information. They rejected the red button, which was an initiative basically to flag more suspicious activity on the site. Do you guys think Facebook is doing enough to protect especially young people's private information?
I think they're already doing quite a lot. They've got various systems and they do react to the feedback that they get. I suspect they've got someone actively monitoring their Twitter feed because that's where people tend to complain about Facebook, and that's where you find out what's going on. I think a lot of it is about helping people be digitally literate so they understand that what they're putting online, where it could potentially go, whether it is an issue of privacy. I mean, I don't really want to put anything online that I wouldn't want to end up on the front page of a newspaper, even though this is for my friends. You never know when it might get out.
As the American Studies lecturer here, Alistair, how big would you say Facebook's impact has been culturally in America? Obviously, President Obama is a key user.
I suppose the assumption is that America will get there first, so the impact it's had upon America is the impact it will have upon the rest of us. And what's interesting is that I think that lag time is increasingly being erased. And I was interested when you said at the beginning that Facebook had come into existence only 5 years ago, because I find it's already hard to imagine a time before it existed. And that's a bit like how, I suppose, students your age think about email. You've never lived in a world without email. Well, I'm old enough that I have, and I remember the world before, and it was horrible. And I suppose the thing about Facebook that always interests me is I think it's successful precisely because it's not something like, say, MySpace, where MySpace in some ways was a primitive form of giving you a sort of page of your own and you could put stuff up there, but who knew if you'd visit? Yeah. Whereas effectively what I think Facebook has done is created this sort of digital arena in which people post stuff, most of which is completely ephemeral, most of which I think actually probably is more self-publicity than actually some sense of trying to communicate with the world. You often see people are trying to make statements about their mood, trying to make statements, I think, about their intellect sometimes. Yeah. So they post articles from magazines, and it's interesting. I wonder if anybody ever reads them.
With Facebook, obviously, well, a lot of people believe the geek culture is back in. It's big again, with shows like The Big Bang Theory being quite big. Do you think Facebook is responsible for this shift in
No, not really, because I think the success of Facebook is how ordinary it is. I think geekdom implies some sense of it being extraordinary and requiring some special expertise, but Facebook requires almost no expertise. And in a way, the strange thing about Facebook is that it hasn't quite colonized older people yet. I may be the oldest person on Facebook amongst the group of friends that I've got, but there's no reason why My sort of elderly mother couldn't be on it in her 70s. There's no reason why that shouldn't be so, because I don't think de facto in itself it actually does anything that requires particularly geek knowledge, and the skill of the creation of it really was to invent an interface that seems so ordinary.
According to Reuters, Facebook had an estimated revenue of around 800 million in 2009, and some experts predict the revenue to hit the 1 billion mark this year. How big, Bex, do you think Facebook's impact has been on the world of advertising?
If you look at the amount of advertising that people feed through on Facebook, and I'm not sure how many people realise that that is actually, it's feeding off the information that you put in. So if you put in that you're single, you'll get lots of dating sites down the side. And of course, print media has been losing a lot of its revenue to online media, and Facebook being the biggest place that people are, that's where a lot of the material is going. So I think it's sort of changing that, but it's all part of the whole big digital change. It's just the tools that we're using are changing, and they're all moving online, really.
I'd be interested to know how much the ad revenue is real, though, because sometimes these are quite illusory sort of numbers. And certainly I never see any ads on Facebook because I use an ad blocker, and I've literally never, in effect, felt I've been interrupted by the presence of ads because they're simply not there for me. I suppose I should go home this evening and switch it off and sort of see what I've been missing. But I'm not aware of it really in that sort of way.
Well, here with WINOL, news is obviously high on our agenda. Would you guys agree with the view that perhaps social networking is becoming as big as a news tool now as news feeds themselves? Like citizen journalism obviously on the rise. Do you think Twitter and Facebook are becoming big aids for news companies?
I'd like to look at the statistics of when people go online to look at it. I mean, is it predominantly, like Twitter, something that people do constantly through the day, or is Facebook maybe more specific times of the day? Because I think the thing about a news feed is you need to be checking it regularly. Yeah. And employers are starting to notice when people are on Facebook when they should be at work, and starting to frown upon things like that. Yeah. And it's even considered to block it from
It depends if
work
Facebook
servers.
is part of your work, though. Actually, it's part of my work.
It would be part of mine as well.
Yeah. So you can't. The trouble is when you have those carpet blocks, it's really problematic because it actually is a good tool, but the trouble is the media tends to promote the negative, and so everyone goes, "Oh, we've got to shut this down."
But it's amusing, though, to be at work and to see that your colleagues, in effect, are not quite doing what you thought they were doing because they're sending posts about other elements of their lives. That can be intriguing at 11:15 on a Monday morning.
Too busy tagging themselves in photos.
Possibly, yes.
Or untagging.
Yeah. Well,